Hmm. Hello, YouTube. Let's see if I can get everything connected here. Uh, no live streams. You connect to live stream. Am I not live? It says I'm live. Stop recording. Stop streaming. I am streaming. Virtual camera. I think I'm on. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. And the best part is I have no users on, so that's fantastic. Welcome to the live stream. Learn more. Why can't I see that entire screen? And welcome to the live stream. Remember to guard your privacy. Da da da. Boom. Okay, so that looks like it's working. Well, hello everyone. Uh, the best part is, I guess, no current live streams. I don't know why it says that. Let's try to refresh. There it is. Look at that. I am live and I've got nobody on, which is perfect for me because I like talking to myself. And this was more or less just a test. No, it's not really a test. Um, a test of, I guess, my current system. I've had a lot of audio problems. I've had some rebuild going on. It's good to be live again. I haven't been live for a while. I did want to show off my studio just a tad. And so since no one's here, I'm going to do that real quick right now. So I'm going to do a lunar swipe. I got one on. Look at that. Hello. So there we go. And I'm more or less talking to myself right now. So welcome to the live. I guess I should just kind of hang out and wait for everyone to join. I haven't learned to do that yet. Ivan to be alone. Yeah, well, Ivan likes being alone. Part of the deal is I'm an only child, right? Or, well, was. Both of my parents have passed. I'm going to transition back. So I have no problem entertaining myself. Never have. It's always been a pleasure, and this is one of the reasons I guess I am a techie to this day. And I wanted to go over that as well. But I might just kind of hang out for a little bit and see if anybody else joins. I wanted to kind of define my channel a little bit more and what I'm doing. There's so many great people out there, so many great podcasters out there. Doing good, Ivan. Thank you. Thank you. I think I finally figured out my audio. I have a great story for today. Um, I was working on my studio as I always am. I still have a lot to do. I always have a lot to do. And my dear wife comes home and we're kibutzing. Hi from Canada. Well, what part of Canada are you in? And the reason why I ask is I used to be a skier. I still am a skier. I love Mount Tremblant and Grey Rocks. I remember skiing them. I destroyed my knees. Hey, Handel. Guys, if I get your name wrong, sorry. It is what it is. The life of dyslexics is not a fun one, but I digress. And that's going to be, if I ever have merch, I said this to myself a long time ago, that will be my first peach of merch. Hey, so look, my girl is on here, Woozy Sue, right on. Thank you so much. No matter what, so I belong to a group of fantastic people that support a gentleman by the name of Roger, and Roger is a live streamer out of Bakersfield and Alberta. I don't know where that is. I know where I skied in Canada, Tremblant and Grey Rock. So anyway, I digress. Roger RD is a great streamer, and Woozy is always the first one to say hello. Always the first one to say hello. So, and I know she's from down under. So I appreciate you being on. I really do. It must be either super early for you, or yeah, it's got to be super early. Anyway, I digress, guys. So, um, so you guys can chat away. This is what started this whole thing, and I actually had Brandon or Brandon, Baron, look at this picture, and he actually chatted up, and he said, he was jealous about my studio. Well, yeah, me too. It's taken me so long to build this thing, and I've built this over years, and you can see a lot in this photo. You can There's a couple of monitors up here missing, and maybe we'll get to. I can show off some of it live, but it's just not just about my studio. It's also about what I do with it and things of that nature, and a little bit more about me and what I do. And I would love to show off, what I've got and how I do what I do. But at the end of the day, I want to narrow it down really to first and foremost. There are so many people doing so many wonderful things with the Charlie Kirk. I guess we're not supposed to say certain words here. So the Charlie Kirk. I'm too old for that bullshit. The Charlie Kirk assassination, right? So the bottom line there is, I don't necessarily just want to follow up with what somebody else said and go into that realm. I'm really trying to find my way into this entire YouTube thing. I have been doing, or I am, I may be a retired, semi-retired cybersecurity phenom, right? I love cybersecurity. I hate the tech bros. I love getting out there and telling you what to do and how I can break into your machine and all these things. Um, and I try to do that via videos, and it kind of worked and it kind of not. And my wife always tells me to get out there and show your personality. Like, to talk for hours and hours is just crazy. And sometimes it's just easier just to stay behind the scenes and not do it. Well, I ended up building this monstrosity through years and years and years, and I love building computers and just making them fancy and tricking them out. And if somebody tells me I can't do something, that makes me want to do it even more, right? So that's kind of how my entire brain starts working. It's like, what can I cobble together to make things work? And right before you guys got on, or right before I went live, I started pulling some things together because I've got my own LLM. Oh, you're not going to work right now. Oh, system is rebooted. So can I refresh and resend? And you're going to show me a live picture or no? Yes. So let's see if I can do this. You guys are going to see a little bit of the mess, but so I'm not BSing about. That's me. So there's my messy ass studio. Don't pay attention to the stuff down here. Those are fans, and it gets hot in this room. It just does. But I put a camera back there, and you can kind of see the camera right there, right? So it doesn't zoom in, so I couldn't zoom in enough to hide the mess. But I did want to kind of show you what it looks like, and I have that up on. I got 14 or 17 cameras around the house, so well, not just around that. It's not like I'm spying in my house, mostly outside of the house because I don't trust anybody. Do I have trust issues? Maybe. No, not really. I don't know. But yeah, oh no, it's looked a lot worse. There have been times when it's just a path. And my wife hates wires, and I got to think about wires. I've got a really good friend of mine who is in kind of the cybersecurity business, and he looked at my setup and goes, "Oh, that's cool, but look at all those wires that you have hanging out." Yeah, it's like that's part of the techie's brain is to have that wire organization. Well, let me tell you, if any of you guys saw the photos that I posted with just a conglomeration of wires, those HTML and DisplayPort wires and all that other, and it took me about 2 hours to put all that stuff together, and it's all sitting up underneath my desk, and it has its own cooling system, and then there's a backup power supply because I got hit by lightning on August 2nd, and I lost everything. Look at my girl. What's happening, half pint? And when I say I lost everything, I had monitors up on the wall over here and computer. It all got fried, all of it. Firewalls. It was a mess. Am I back? No, not really. And I don't think I'll ever recover from it. Sad part is I actually had to put my dog down shortly thereafter. But that's not what this is all about. I kind of wanted to go in and show you guys, what's up here because it's a mess. But I also wanted to give my own flavor on my side of YouTube, right? And I wanted to share some of the knowledge that I've had or gained over the 30 years in cybersecurity and all that money that people have paid to come see me talk and jump up and down on stage and, telling you, hey, you've been hacked, do this, that, there's a lot of boomers, especially the boomers, because I'm a boomer and I can't stand that phrase because boomers are stupid. Well, we're not. We invented the freaking internet, okay? And it wasn't Al Gore. And I actually met one of the guys who did it. And I know the first transaction. And if anybody can tell me the first transaction that happened on the internet in the chat right now, uh, whenever I do have merch, like 20 years from now, I'll send you a T-shirt. But that's for another time. I wanted to go over, what my thoughts were, and I actually have even created my own AI. I'm a boomer too, Ivan. There you go. Oh, there you go. So, there's something about boomers. We did a lot of great things, and we get discounted for them. Uh, I was around when I ran bulletin boards. If any of y'all know what a bulletin board is, that was before the internet. You had multiple phone lines and modems, and you had to dial in, and you got kicked out, and it was all kinds of interesting, unusual things. And am I a hacker? No, but I can kind of explain how some of those messages might have gotten on Charlie's phone, not Charlie's, on Taylor's phone. Okay, I might be able to theoretically. Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. I got some of these going on here, guys. I don't really wear hats, but that might come out backwards. But that is Candace Intelligence Agency, right? I love that one. But here's the one that I really should have on. That's allegedly. So allegedly, I might be able to. That was from BB, not BB. Dee Dee. Dee Dee's got a broadcast. I don't like to wear hats because it's hot, and I've got a hoodie on, which I don't normally wear, but it's kind of comfortable. And I don't know where Billy and Brandy disappeared to, but hopefully they come back. Yeah, dial up was the worst, but it was fun. I remember pulling email at 300 baud. And for those of you I know who don't know what that means, it was really slow. And you could like read it as it came across line by line. And then I moved into this house, God knows, 26 years ago. And I was the first one to have any kind of high speed. At that point, it was a 1.544. That is incredibly slow in today's standard, but I digress. I really wanted to go over some of what I do with this silly system that I built. Now, it's the fact that you don't have to utilize ChatGPT, and nobody else is going to do this. But I built my own LLM, large learning model, language model, whatever the hell you want to call it. You don't have to utilize the crap that they give you, and you can train it any way you want. And there's a lot of people that are afraid of AI, and there's a lot of people that think, well, AI just lies. Bullshit. It doesn't. It is what somebody told it to lie about. That's where the lie comes from. What's happening, neighbor? Are you really my neighbor? I want to, because you always say that and you scare the hell out of me. Because if you know where I live, I don't really care if you know where I live. I had a guy ring my doorbell not too long ago, and I met him with a little pea shooter, and I've never seen anybody run so fast. To be in my neighborhood to solicit, you have to have a badge around your neck. And if you ring my doorbell, you better have a damn good reason. So, okay, see, you're close. Yeah, you are. And see, that's one of the things that I do with this crazy system that I have. I'm a little bit of a weather geek, and we were supposed to get some crazy weather this week or today or whatever. And that's one of the things. If anybody has watched Ryan Hall, y'all, and you've seen some of my, I have one video out there that actually shows one of my old systems with Ryan Hall. And he laughs at it, and because he says, there's always that one guy that's got just about too much going on and not enough, or maybe it's just over the, yeah, it was over the top. And it was what it was, but it was my system that he showed, and he laughed at it. And I thought it was funny. This is live. So I'm in the Dallas Fort Worth area, and that's close enough. We were supposed to get rain. No rain. Okay, see? What'd you get? Nothing. You guys are scary up there, man, with the tornadoes. That's just nutsy. God bless. I couldn't do that. But again, this is some of what I do with my system. I like to stay informed of current events. I like to have connections to the internet. I like to watch like Roger and live broadcasts of stringers and streamers to really see what's going on because the Fed is feeding us a bunch of bullshit. Okay. And this is it may not be a high IQ outfit, but this is an adults only because I don't have a throttle right now. So my tongue is loose. All right. Let me tell you a quick story. So this afternoon, I'm telling my wife, oh, I'm going to go live and this, that, and the other. And she's giving me all this holistic stuff that, oh, you need to drink this. It'll make you better and you can lose weight and feel. So I got a cup of tea, a little bit of honey and some lemon. And it's warm, but it's not like hot. And I'm like, okay, great. So I come back into my studio office, whatever you want to call it, and I put it down. I have like a double desk, and I put it down on the top portion, and it must have been something there. And this glass couldn't fall over fast enough. And when it fell over right into, I mean, dead into one of my keyboards. And I mean, it flooded that keyboard. Okay, now I get it. Keyboards, I got a 500,000 keyboards, but this was a nice keyboard. And that bad boy just sucked, and it had honey in it, right? And there's no way to clean that out. So, true story. just I'm not high IQ enough to avoid stuff like that. Let me get rid of this thing. But these are some of the silly things that occur to me, or that have occurred to me. Uh, Same exact thing. I have a monitor above the three that I have here, and I've got two more on this side. But there's two more over there that aren't connected yet. This one decides to go and stop working. Now it works, but it flickers like a disco ball. Anybody been to Studio 54? I have. That's how old I am, right? Um, the bottom line there is that electronics go after a period of time, and I was so peeved. But I got another one back there. You see that great big void that will be going up there when I con my youngest son, who decided to move back home at the age of 30, and he'll help me put it up there. It is trying to find another word besides the word I want to use to describe how to mount these monitors. It's just it's difficult. Anyway, I digress. So hope everybody's having a great evening. Do me a favor, go to bed when you're supposed to go to bed. This is the time I enjoy the most. I remember as a young child, many moons ago, the joy was to be able to stay up late at night and watch Johnny Carson, and he was the guy. Never really made it through past his monologue, but that was part of the deal. Okay, so where am I going with this? Part of this, besides showing, and I love showing this video or this picture, this still. Some of my favorite people right now, and there's so many great people on the internet. Obviously, Baron is awesome. Roger is great. I love all the streamers and I'm not supposed to call Ashley because I know what who she is, but Adfleet and I call them XL. They make music that I actually pay for because I download and put in my car, and I've got a car that a boomer shouldn't be driving because it doesn't look like I should be driving it, and it thumps, and it sounds so good in my car. It sounds good here too. I've got a good sound system in the studio, which also got hit by lightning, but it's got a subwoofer, and I've got 5 other speakers that are surround sound. I digress. So that's one of the reasons why I like this one so much, because Good Goy is up top, which I have a Good Goy sweatshirt. I'll be wearing that one of these days. And when Candace Shabbat Shalom, well, that would be yesterday. When that came on, and every now and then I'm looking down at comments, so I'm not always looking there. I'm trying to look at the camera. I'm looking at what's going on other screens. So bear with me. And now here's the deal. I plan on going live more than not. Making the videos was fun, but that's somewhat arduous. But I want to tie it all in together, and I also want to know what you guys want to hear. Cybersecurity is my gimme, and there was recently an exploits dropped, 10 exploits on an iPhone. Jesus, sorry, Lord, but we all have to be careful nowadays. Stop giving away information. It's one of the reasons why Roger asked me, and if you guys don't know who Roger is, you got to go out there and find him already on the scene. Uh, aren't you on Facebook? No, I hate Facebook because I know what they do with the data, right? And that's the sad part about being a tech guy who grew up in this manner. I know what they do with data. Everybody does it. I can't stand Google because they want it all, and when they get it, they own it. It's theirs. It's not yours. It's mine. I just let you borrow it. I put it up there now. So here's the first Ivanism. If you're not paying for the product, you are the product. Okay. And that's one of the things that I might go through as time allows tonight. I'm not going to stay on very long. I can't do a Baron, Baron. I always call him Baron. I don't know why. Mr. Coleman, Counselor Coleman, Baron. His name is Baron. Podcast. He just goes on, but he's brilliant. I'm not that smart. I'm not. One of my other Ivanisms is never an expert, always a student, because I always want to learn, and that's one of my fears as well. My father was a brilliant man. He was a captain of a ship. He's from Bermuda. Maybe you can see that in that picture right there where I have one of my old license plates. It says Bermuda. Uh, the sad part is when you stop using your brain, I think you start to lose some of that gray matter, and it just gets worse. You can see all the events that I went to, got up on stage and jumped around and talked about cybersecurity and asked how many people have you ever been hacked and this, that, and the other. Look, preach, brother. Don't tell me to preach, man. I'll get up there. I will get up there. I want everybody to be secure, right? And it's time that I start giving back, and it's time that y'all start doing some good things and just little stuff. If I can help, let's get out here and ask some questions and different things. But people see my studio and go, well, what the hell do you do with that thing? Okay, well, let me show you one of the other things that I do. Let me see if this comes up. Oh, I decided to come up over here, didn't you? I don't want you over there. Now you just disappeared, right? You little rascal. Okay. Now you're going to go full screen over here. Wonderful. And this is the problem with having a big system, too, because sometimes it just doesn't want to work for you. So one of the things I like to do is to look at the war, the endless war that we don't need to be in. And that's my opinion, and I'm entitled to it because I'm old, and I get to say that. I'm old. But here's the deal. Growing up, I remember watching on TV about this big in the kitchen of my parents' home in black and white, the Vietnam War, a useless war we didn't need to be in at all. And now I watch guys making cars in Vietnam, and I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. We used to not like those people, and now they're on YouTube. I do the same thing with Russia. There's a guy in Russia who takes old beat up cars, but we're not supposed to. All right, George Floyd. Why can't we all just get along? I don't know, but I got something for that too, because when I started this entire conversation, I talked about that large learning model that's mine, and I put a timeline together myself. And the thing that am I native of Florida or about? No, I'm a New Yorker. I just look for my New York Giants hat. I don't have, so I like look. I got stories for days. I've been in Texas now for mm, 30 plus years, but I will always be a New Yorker to my heart. If I say certain words, you can hear it come out. Uh, my parents paid for private school my entire life, so that's why you don't hear whatever. I wish I could turn that brother on, but anyway. So one of the things that I do with my system, I like to watch what's going on the war front, and this is one of the sites that I watch, and I've got a whole bunch that I like to see, and I also want to see international news and what other people do. So, and the reason why I bring all this up is because I had actually asked my I just saw who Nightcrawler just came on in OKC, I believe, 405 live news. So that's one of the things I enjoy watching. Right, it's a live streamer. Here's the bottom line: you can do a lot with systems. I heard somebody today say Tyler left a message underneath their keyboard. Most people have laptops. No, 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 no. I've got right now one, two, three, four. I've got 5 computers running on this system, really use two, and they're both desktops that I built myself. RGB or actually ARGB lights and all kinds of fancy stuff going on, all water cooled, and I got all the if you buy a laptop, you're just buying somebody else's trash and you don't know what's on it. I build my own stuff, but that's what boomers do, right? So we don't just stop there. Sometimes we just don't want to do it anymore and we sit down and watch Fox News. No, I don't. I don't. I don't watch Fox. I don't watch CNN. And I know a lot of people who do. Again, kind of digress, but this is some of the things that I do with my system, right? And, you can train it just like a large learning model or an AI instance. And I want to talk about AI in a minute to do what you want it to do. Okay, hold on. Let me uncover that because I can't really see everything. Back later, Ivan. I'm tired. All right. Well, good. I know it's late. And I like nighttime. I usually go to bed at about 4 o'clock in the morning, because my house is quiet and there's only it's just my wife and I in this great big ass house. But that's my time. So I appreciate you coming. Thank you so much for just hanging out just a little. I never thought I would say this. Please and I know most of y'all have already subscribed. I'm trying to get to 300 people. I want to say one thing. I saw a gentleman, it was a kid, and his dad tried to advertise for him on Barron's show. And I don't have his picture up. That's too bad. All right. Well, I thought I did. Anyway, I like to promote the smaller channels as possible. I'm a tiny, tiny, tiny channel, and I'm just trying to grow. And I'm not really looking for anything. It would be great to supplement income. Who knows? I'll probably be. I was about to say I'll probably be dead by then, but who knows? But I'm trying to show you some of the things that I do with my system because that's what my AI, Ivan's AI, said I should be doing, right? And kind of just giving y'all a little taste of some of the things that kind of run across my screen. I also want to talk about, the algorithm, which is not an algorithm; it's multiple, right? But even Newsmax and anything that's brought across the Wire has somebody's flavor to it. So if you watch anything of that nature, right, identify who the owner is. Where is that information coming from? Even with me, who is my owner? My owner is probably at this point my wife, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the 30 years of cybersecurity that I've put in, right? So if anybody remembers MCI or Verizon or any of those other institutions that I work for, and you can understand who my owner is, but that's my opinion on those things. So, you know, I don't let anything pigeonhole me in. So let me just give it a couple of just the right size network. It again, it's all opinion. I watch certain podcasters who I agree with, and then certain things I don't agree with, and if they say enough crap that I don't like, click. See you next time. Uh, it is what it is. We all enjoy and watch and like different things. It's a lot of times I will watch mindless things, but I'll be doing other things in the background. I've got my laptop on right now, and this is one that I can't bring up on the screen. But I have an old Mac that I refurbished and brought something back up. Who else is going to watch the port of Miami and these huge ships come in into the turning basin at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning? To me, it's fantastic, but it's something that's different, right? And the algorithm is trying to figure out what the hell is this guy doing because they don't get it. They just don't, and you can't pigeonhole me, and that's part of the problem that we all have. If you bank, use a different browser. If you like to look at different things on the internet, use a different browser. Passwords are the worst thing in the world. I can't stand them. Multi-factor authentication. Okay, here's a little bit of cybersecurity. We're not going to get that deep, but just utilize something that's strong. Your password should be a paragraph. It should be your resume. At one point, my password was, this is the high school, this is the college, this is where I worked first, this is where I worked, and put them all together, uppercase, lowercase. Okay, but after a while, you start using the same thing over and over again. Figure it out. but don't just use the same mechanism. Make them work harder to put you in a footprint, because that's what they're doing. And if you looked at some of the videos that I've had out there with the Ellersons, I can't stand them, and some of the other ones that are out there, and that's part of what I want to do. I just don't want to follow along with, oh, Charlie Kirk this, and I get that. I do, and I can show you some of the investigations that I have. 20 character passwords, right on, brother. And that's what we're talking about. I think mine is like somewhere around there, maybe like 32 or something. But it's still all hackable, and that's the sad part about it. And one of these days, I'm going to go into some of the toys that I have. I've got some really cool. That's a Flipper Zero. I've got a Nyon box. I had to wait 6 months for this. I've got devices. At Charlie Kirk's demise, they lost Wi-Fi. I can knock out Wi-Fi with these little tiny. This is a wristwatch I took the band off of. I got two of them, right? And you can buy all this stuff online right now. It's not that hard, even this is a software-defined radio. All this stuff, and eventually I'm going to go through some of this on my podcast. But I just brought it up to show some of the things. This is one of my favorite toys right here, and my wife just calls them boxes or whatever. But imagine somebody just taking your data, stealing it, and just passing it along. And meanwhile, they're capturing everything in between. And there's so many things that you can lose because of that. It's just, I look at the stuff on Tyler's phone and go, I can put that there. I know how to do that. It's not hard. Anybody can do this. That's why I'm always a student. All right, I digress. I wanted to more or less give an introduction, and to really, I created a timeline for Charlie, and I don't think I'm going to go through it today, but of all the evidence that they dropped on us, and all of the missing pieces, and there's no GSR, there's no gunshot residue. There's so many things that are missing from Tyler, and I honestly believe that they're probably going to, he might lose his demise, right? But the bottom line here is, this is not 1960. Well, okay, let's move it forward. This is not 1970. There's so many people out there with a technology in their pocket that can do so many great things. And to this day, I'm shocked that we didn't go to the moon. It broke my heart, but I believe it now. I didn't believe it before. Same thing with 9/11. It's like, wait a minute, Building 7? What are we doing? I listened, and I've got scanners running right now. I listen to the Dallas-Fort Worth area and locally, and I also have Broadcastify, so I can listen to anywhere in the nation that's not encrypted. I listened to the shootings in Las Vegas when they occurred. Half of that video or that audio is now missing. It's not there anymore. I know what I heard that day. There's a lot of Fed slop that we are being fed. And if you listen to Barron, and if you listen to Ian, and all these other ones out there, and I really want to stay in my field of experience. This is being fed to us, and it can be created in any such a manner. They can put anything on your phone or Discord. Who owns this? Who owns Discord? Who owns all these different platforms? Really look at them. Fox News and CNN, same company. Really? Kinda, sorta. TikTok? Hello, Mr. Ellerson. How are you? Oh, you just got my medical records tied into your network? It just happened last week, y'all. Does anybody know that? We're fighting a war, and meanwhile, the tech bros are taking your data and merging it into government data on the Oracle backbone. I can't stop it, but you know what I did? I stopped giving away free information, and we're doing that. If you don't pay for the product, you are the product. And a lot of times, even if you pay for the product, you are the product. I do my best to stop giving away information. The only reason why I really started this whole thing was to give away some cybersecurity little trinkets of knowledge, because this is what I know. And I think it's right to give back just a little bit of knowledge. I can look at a car and look at its bumper stickers, if it has any, and tell you more about that car than you want to know. Oh, my kid is a Boy Scout, Eagle Scout, or oh, my daughter plays soccer. Oh, we have 4. You ever see this? The ones that have the 5 kids, with the, okay. So I know what school you go to, and I know when your house is going to be empty. I know how many dogs you have. I know that your husband most likely goes camping with your son, so it's kind of obvious when your house is going to be empty. I'm not saying that I'm going to rob their house, but we have to think about what we're doing because the tech bros are all doing this to us. They're all putting us in a box, and it's not just for advertisement anymore. It's for everything. It's for control, and I think that's what a lot of the war is about. I think that's what the mm, the Jeffrey Files. See that's how bad it is. You can't even say certain words, right? I mean, what happened to America? Land of the free, home of the brave. What happened? Oh, there's my girl. Hey, Texas. I hope you're doing well. Uh, I send prayers every day. I haven't said anything online to anybody. I don't know if you want me to on Roger's stream or not, but it is what it is. I hope you're doing better. I hope you are kicking ass, and I mean that correct word. Anyway, I digress, and that will be my first T-shirt. I actually wanted to show you guys some of what the algorithm thinks I should be looking at, right? And why? If you just look down here, well, here's one of the night crawlers, right? So this one's out of Tulsa, and and okay, so here's my boy Trigger Smart. That's Matt. He's got some watching. I was Christina dropping tea. I used to watch a lot of these. This dude here is also a boomer. Dave, he developed some early stuff with Microsoft, right? But this is what they think that I'm into, possibly because I've looked at some of the things before. I have part of a mesh network because I believe in having a form of communications, and that's what this is, outside of cellular, right? But some of this stuff, I watch, and some of it I don't. I like to see this. These guys right here are building cars in Vietnam out of clay. Now the cars are crap, but the bodies look really good. Here's good old Cash, and here's Tavares, and he's building. Tim Dillon, he's funny, but I don't necessarily watch it. The Artemis landing, but a lot of this, they think that this is what I want to see, and quite often I push back. No, I don't want to see this crap. Just to keep them on their toes, because it's none of their business what I watch. They can keep guessing, but f them, right? I go out and find what I want. It's out there. Somebody else has got it, right? That's the bottom line. So without me going into diatribes and soliloquies and things of that nature, this is one of the things that I wanted to get into, and one of the reasons why I started my podcast. And podcast, it sounds so weird for me to say that, but I wanted to begin to do something different, and it's real easy to go down that Charlie Kirk scenario, that Tyler Robinson scenario, and I've got data on that, and I would love to present it, and I will one of these days. But there's so many brilliant people doing it with Ian and Baron and Alley Files and just so many others that I don't feel the need to really recover or go over Candace the Queen, go over everything that they've already generated. I created a gorgeous timeline with the help of my artificial intelligence that spells it all out. And then I started asking the questions, well, who would make the most money doing this? And who's the number one contributor to TP USA? And why are these things different? And to me, it's kind of obvious. There's my boy. Is there Kevin on here? Oh, so yeah, there he is. What's happening, bro? Kevin, I've got, sorry guys, I'm gonna make a little turn here. Kevin, I've got a video for you. It's me cooking, it's not cooking. Yes, ribs, ribs, ribs. You don't see my hands in it. and I call myself Kevin throughout the entire video. I want to send it to you, and you can have your editor in chief, Miss Rhonda, uh, edit it any way you want. I don't care, guys. He's a buddy of mine. If you haven't seen Cooking with Kevin, go find the site. Kevin, put your URL in. He's a mod in here. Put your URL in the deal. He's just it's a good guy. He's got a great heart, and he goes through life, and that's the other thing. When you reach a certain age, getting up in the morning ain't fun. It's just not. It's just not. But again, here's my first T-shirt. I digress, right? And I want to, if I ever do have merch, I want classy merch. Hoodies are nice. I want a nice button down white shirt with my little logo and just says "I digress" on it. Maybe something on the back, but classy. Anyway, um, again, the bottom line here is let's not allow them to own us. Let's not allow them to own our data. Let's not allow them to put us in that box. Use different mechanisms. Don't use your default browser. I know a lot of people just use their phone. Okay, that's great. But keep in mind, your phone can be compromised just as fast. You have to keep your software updated. Come on, merch. Yeah, that'll be slow down there, Turbo. Uh, you know, do all the right things. A lot of people, oh, I'm not going to put that update on there. You know what? Sometimes I don't want to do that either. I know I need to do a BIOS update on this computer because it could crash any minute now. I've had those problems, but I push my computers to their limit. I put 3 GPUs in one system because somebody told me I couldn't do it. Well, guess what? I did. Now, did I kill a bunch of power supplies? Yeah. Did it work? Yeah. But do I do it now? No. I'm smarter now, and I understand what Rails are and how it all works, and whether you have 8 or 16. Okay, I get it. And some of y'all are like, what the hell is he talking about? The bottom line is, I just try to do things that are different, right? And that's exactly why I'm not sitting here covering, a car chase. And I love car chases, but I'm not covering, Charlie Kirk. And I want to cover some of that stuff, and I have some things to present. But this video was really about this thing that I built and its constant progression and really giving something back that nobody's really talking about at this age group that I'm in, right? Because we are the prime target. And when I say we, I'm talking about the boomers who've been busting their ass for 30 years and might have a little bit of money in the bank. And along comes, somebody tells, I get email, I get the Russians call me to try to con me out of shit. It literally says on my phone, from Russia. And I know that I haven't been on Facebook in years. Somebody tried to hack my Facebook account last night. And how do I know that? Because I get the numbers for the verification to log in. I have multi-factor authentication set up via my phone. But if we're not privy to this, if we don't understand that somebody always wants to get our data to make us pay for shit, we're lost already. So part of this is to get boomers up out of their chairs, stop watching freaking Fox or CNN or whatever the hell they're watching. Go out and work for your news, verify it, and then verify it again. I know a few people on here have heard me say, yeah, see, I use ESET. They're my people. uh, that's the mentality. And again, I'm far from an expert. There are so many people out there that know so much more than I. But the thing that I can tell you is that I know what compromise looks like. Look, I was there on the largest compromise of a travel agency, and I don't know if I can really call out Carlson's name. Oops. But and how many millions of dollars they paid to get their data back, but they did. And they're not talking to that hacker. They're not. That doesn't exist. It was a freaking call center. And there were so many other people. You could hear the phones ringing in the background. I can tell you what those hackers look like. I can tell you how it's set up. Excuse me. It's not just like a person. It's not just a group. It is an organization. They run from Ukraine to Russia. I mean, it's just massive. And if one of these days, maybe I'll go into that. I understand how they work. I understand how they think. We've gotten their documentation. That's some of the things that I used to preach. I love doing that stuff. Some people might find it really boring or not interesting. Look, when I come to your house and take down your Wi-Fi and then tell you what all your passwords are because I got a little purple box in my hand with a kitten on it, maybe you'll pay attention. Okay? Or maybe when you go to a hotel and I'm in the room next to you and I scan my key card and then I'm able to unlock your door with this little thing, maybe you'll pay attention. All those things are possible without any spy mechanisms or any secret hacker crap. Now I know why Baron drinks water. It's so easy to do. Look, so that's just a little bit of security. It's just a little bit of the mind of Ivan. Kevin, what do you call it? Ivan's mad world. It's. I wanted to find my avenue, my forte, my. I want to grow it organically myself. Charlie Kirk is awesome. Well, God rest his soul, and TPUSA and sorry, all that crap that they're doing. I'm glad it's happening the way it is. I really am. The things that are going on in the war and with Trump, that's just crazy. But it's all going to play out for itself. It's kind of obvious to me what happened and how it happened. You know, I did a whole mock up on, well, who would cause this, and then if you look to see how many things have been stopped. You know, when Joe Kent came out and said, well, his investigation wasn't allowed to go further. Well, why not? Because if you just look at it, who would gain the most and who would lose the most? It's kind of obvious with the war. I don't think it needs to be spelled out. It really doesn't. You know, it's already there. Everybody already knows. Okay, so without going into all that, but I've got a timeline. I've got a timeline. Candace knows too. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Ivan's mad world. Thank you, Kevin. Brother, I hope you're feeling better. I do. There's so many people that I pray for every day that are out there. Um, and a lot of y'all don't know. I'm so freaking emotional. It's ridiculous. I see. I don't know his real name, but it's Adfleet's partner. X. I call him X, but it's like EL something something something. He puts out music that is so just to the heart, and things like that just hit me. When I posted that picture, the first picture that I posted up, my first short ever of that wire mesh conglomeration, both in my head, all I'm thinking of is that country western song from Baron, or from Athlete. And with I'm just a country lawyer, and I'm not a country lawyer. I'm not by any stretch of the imagination, uh, and I'm not even a country, security guy. I'm just a dude who wants to learn and wants to spread a little bit of my intelligence. Or and I'm not even going to say it's high IQ. It's just stuff that maybe some people don't even think about, but it's what I've been exposed to for 30 years. Is what I've been preaching about forever, and that's why I'm here. So if you guys like what I'm saying, do me a favor, just smack some little button there. If you don't like it, that's cool. You can smack that one too. I'm literally trying to do something different here with my life. I've got crappy knees, so I can't walk that well, but I'll get up and move. I design things. I like to build. I'm still working on my lighting system. You notice I have a tree back there. I did that because I took down a shelving system and I moved it over here, and that's where all my stuff is. I've got radios and all kinds of crazy things. Texas Angel has probably seen more of my get up than anything. She's actually seen some of my computer work firsthand. Um, but it is what it is. We can all do our own part. And my thing is, we have to take care of one another. Look, I've got a Chinese nationalist that lives across the street from me. Her husband is a professor at a college one of my daughters went to, and I'll leave it at that because I don't want to call him out. And at the end of the street, I've got a Russian nationalist. And when I met him, my one of my good friends used to own that house. When I met him, I told him what my name was, and he's like, Ivan? My dog was running loose, so I had to go catch him. And he just looked at me like, are you kidding me? Your name is Ivan? Yeah, the Black Russian. That's right, brother. Don't ever forget it. And every time he walks past my house, he looks at all the cameras that are watching him in the front of my house. I think there are one, two, three, four. There are 5 cameras just watching outbound. Why? Because that's me. I've got a cough button. Crap. Okay, so I need to start using my cough button. Um, that's why I'm here. So I'm not going to be on much longer. I just wanted to start this. I wanted to give. I've done a lot of introductions, but this is the first live introduction. This is kind of this crazy little thing that I built here. I'm still trying to figure it all out. Um, I want to give back as much as I possibly can. I want to bring other people in and hear from them. I want to do, whatever I can do to help spread the word, or make little guys big. There's so many. I watched Baron. I watched Baron when he wasn't a little guy. He had quite a few people on, but he was small enough, and I've just watched him grow and blow up. And he calls me by my first name now, and he actually went out and liked my setup, and he said he was jealous about it, and I was going to put it up on the screen. But it's little things like that that just kind of get to you, right? And it's some of the people that I've met, Lady Rhonda over there. I see her chatting away, or my buddy Kevin, who's fighting the good fight, and we all have battles that we all have to fight. I know we fight them every single day. Uh, Sorry, my throat's getting dry. I can understand why people drink online. I always kind of wondered, well, why. So this is just literally water with tea flavoring in it. Um, but that is Ivan live. That is a little taste of my studio. There's still so much more I have to add in here, and so many more little itsies and bitsies of pieces and puzzles that I haven't really pulled together. I wanted to go live last night, and I don't know why I didn't. There was something that occurred, and I figured, well, the hell with it, I'll just wait. And I know Sunday's probably the worst day because a lot of people have to go to work. I get it. I do. I do. I do. One of these days, I'll tell you all the story of Ivan. I've got a story and a half that a lot of people don't know. Um, when it comes to Erica and how much she is a widow, well, I'm a widower. Okay, and now that was some 20 years ago when I met my wife over the internet, and she was a widow. But how we met and how we grew through that pain, and to see the stuff that I almost dropped another BS that Erica's going through. No, no, this is all that is. It's not Alpo. It's not even Alpo, and Alpo smells, but it's awful. It's just awful. I mean, you need every stir drink. Yeah, I use that occasionally. It doesn't taste as good. I need to get away from the sugar stuff, and use stevia. I do. I really do, because the sugar is just killing me. So, I have an addiction for cookies. I got a thing about a cookie. I- It, mm, and I ordered a whole bunch. I got a huge box today, and I didn't even take it out of the outside box. Amazon is my worst addiction in the world. That and DoorDash. Okay, so there you have it. But I'm working on it. I am, and I got a bike right outside of my door that I need to get my butt on. But the knees hurt, and now I know what it's like to talk for. I don't know how long I've been talking for. Somewhere on here, there's a clock. But I want to thank you all for showing up as I wind this down, and I don't know how often I'm going to do it. I'd like to do it on a more regular basis, probably come on earlier. I don't want to step on anybody's feet. There's so many other great podcasters out there. I like to watch Lionel. I know Lionel's real name. I did my investigation on him first. I know the radio station that he came from out of New York first. I know what his real name is. The same thing with Baron. Some of y'all might see I call him by his real name, or at least his initials. I actually have his address because he called it out. There are certain things that you can and cannot do, online, and sometimes you don't need to point them out. Sometimes you do. I don't know. Everybody's different. Let me give you one other tip before I really close this down. Stop giving away your date of birth. Stop it. Three things I need: date of birth, last four, mother's maiden. That's it. I own you. Okay. And the other ones aren't that hard to get. I've got well, I don't have it up. There are databases out right now that you can just get anything that you want from that person if you know even the city that they live in and their correct name. But we just have to stop giving away data. Right. So that's my little bit of cybersecurity, and I want to talk about current events and all those wonderful things. I have so many other sweatshirts that I can wear from AdFleet. I've got theirs. It says "Good Guy" across it. A quick story with that one. I had my good boy. I had a T-shirt on, and my neighbor across the street down one is this neighborhood's a little, they're a little uppity, and so I don't know. We were getting a delivery or something, and I stood out there with my good boy shirt on, and I'm watching some of these people go by, and they're looking like, "What are you doing? What is that supposed to mean?" You know what? It is what it is. I can wear any damn T-shirt that I want, and suck it. Uh, we're all human. We all need to learn to live with one another. We all need to learn to care, and I think that is probably the real message that we should be learning right now, right now. And I think this is a great time to learn it. I think that we've got some great people in place to teach us that. And with that, I guess I'm pretty much done, guys. I don't know when I'm going to do this again. Maybe I don't think it'll be tomorrow. I've got to really kind of come up with some more things to talk about. But I wanted to get on and just chat up a little bit. Well, look, I've made just about a full hour, so woohoo! I'm going to watch probably AXN News, who is a live streamer, or somebody out of Oklahoma who's live streaming, and I'll watch the weather as it flows through and things of that nature on my big system, and learn more about DMX wiring on my StreamYard Plus, and try to figure out more and more things as I move forward. So with that, Baron always ends with Jesus loves you. I'm going to end with something let's do Fridays. Okay, we can do Fridays. Fridays is pretty cool. Yes, there's Kevin. Kevin's up in Canada. I've never met Kevin. There's so many people I've never met. It's like Angel. I've never met Angel, but I feel for these people. Let's do Fridays, man. Right on. Right on. Outlaw, if you want to join me, if you got a mic and a camera, excuse me, I'm down for anything. My son, my young, I've got 4 kids, two who look like me and 2 who don't, and I'm proud of all of them. I've raised them all from very little kids, and they're all. I got a doctor, man. She pulls out more money from my pocket than any of them. I've got an environmental engineer. I've got a car dealership owner. I've got they're all brilliant. But my youngest son, he's got something clicking up there, and he knows so much more crap. It's like, how do you know that? And I look at him, and he's got this great big fro. He looks like a black Q-tip. Anyway, I know that's probably really wrong of me to say, but yeah, man, reach out. I don't have my email out there. Roger, I love Roger to death. Go look for put the links up in there, Kevin. Anybody that I'm all about promoting any website as long as it's good. Roger is what is I forgot what Roger is. But it's RD on the scene is where I found Roger, and he's just a live streamer, and he goes out, and some days it's nothing, but you're going for a ride. That I use my cough button. Some days you sit and you watch a fire that's burning from hell, and that was a couple of days ago. There's so many of them out there, and then some days there's nobody out there at all. I like to watch AXN. I like to watch some of the guys up in Oklahoma because to me that's live news. Nobody else is filtering that data, right? There's nothing. Do some investigations. Figure out what you like. Don't let the algorithm predict you. You keep it guessing. Use different apparatuses. That phone is one thing, but it keeps track of everything that you're doing. Break it up. Make them guess. Okay. Don't let them put you in a box. So, as I was beginning to say, Baron always says, Jesus loves you, and never forget that. I'm going to tell you, please, no matter what you do, and I know Angel knows this line very well. Yeah, Roger always says, yeah, always put your seatbelt on. There's some other links out there. Oh, yeah, don't forget to follow Kevin as well. Cooking with Kevin, he does great stuff. He's very personable, and he's got a great editor as well. But my tagline is, please be careful what you click on, okay? It's important because it's so easy to click on just nonsense. And I think that might be my next video. I have received so many emails. Oh, well, we weren't able to deliver your package. Here, click here for more detail. No, bullshit. No way in hell. Okay. So yeah, careful what you click on. She's got it. I knew she did. The bottom line here is that we all have to be careful of what we're doing out there because there's so many bad guys out there. And all they need is a little bit, and then they start owning you piece by piece, right? So with that, and I think we might be doing before Friday. I don't know. We'll see. But keep an eye out. I'm going to do the best I can to keep doing this. Nothing's going to stop me. I want to do even more. I've got some DMX. It's not coming. It's already here. It's just a matter of connecting, configuring, and all those things. Thank you, my friend. Oh my God, this is my boy right there. Roger's a killer. He absolutely. Roger, you should be in bed sleeping. I know this is way past your bedtime. If you guys check out Roger, that is his logo. He also runs Current County Crime Watchers as well. He's huge on Facebook, which I just talked about, like really, really super bad. But Roger is just, he was an idol for me. I'm getting emotional because he's so cool. He's a really good guy. All right, so you see, I get emotional really quick. Look, go out and find what you like. Okay, don't just sit in front of a television and let them push it to you. Same thing with news. Don't be forced into that box. Get emotional over your stuff. Own it. Don't let them own you. That's the bottom line here. Next time we come on, I want to talk about some of the emails that I get, some of the text messages that I get, some of the geofencings that are incorporated. Who was that? Oklahoma? I forgot. Max. Somebody said that they might want to join me. We'll figure it out. I use OBS right now, so I may not necessarily know how to share, but if I need to change platforms, I'll be glad to change platforms. I am relatively open, but I want to spread security, my background, my knowledge. If you have questions, please feel free. If you have questions about computers or phones, I may not know it, but I'm damn sure I've got the will and the knowledge and the curiosity to find it. So with that, I thank you. I appreciate you coming. Thank you, Roger. Oh my God, Kevin, everybody, really, truly, from my heart. This has been really cool. You've seen me get emotional over just little tiny things. Um, Life's not always easy, but we can all get through it if we do it together, right? And that's the bottom line. It really is. And I've watched some really great people do some fantastic things. So never forget that. And please, again, tell them, Angel, please be careful what you click on. It's important. All right. We'll see you guys out there. Be careful and careful what you click on.